Hello Internet, and thank you for taking the time to watch this educational tutorial on programming and developing software. I'm going to add a functionality to my program. This is the program that I've been working on to keep track of my expenses. Excuse me. This bank balance is not correct. It's a little short, but in any effect, this is what we are doing. We like to keep track of our expenses so that Robert Kiyosaki has taught us that if you don't, then that just means that you're not serious about your finances. I'm very serious. I want to own real estate someday. And also these tutorials are for me to push employers to see my skill, my level of skill, to see what I can do. I'm currently a truck driver, and it's difficult to get a job as a software engineer when they see my resume and all my past work experience as a CDL truck driver. Nevertheless, I've been very active in my free time learning how to develop software, and let me point out that I have no other great satisfaction in life than to produce a working piece of software. That is outstanding when you can get the computer to do exactly what you want it to do. So for this part of the development, I need to add two buttons here. One is going to be, we'll get out of here. I need to add a delete transaction and edit transaction. So in case we input some information that was wrong or incorrect. Now I'm signing into my my SQL database, so I can go ahead and check when we add new SQL queries, we like to add them, run them down here against the database to see if they work. Okay, it's another form of testing. This one I'm going to do ahead and get status so we can see where we are. I'm also going to add a new branch. I'm doing this again so that employers can see my level of skill. So if you're not sure exactly what I'm doing, ask in the comments below and I'll try to clarify. This is I need to go get checkout. Oh, I have a shortcut, right? Get checkout branch, because I have a bash file that has my get shortcuts already. So I can just use get checkout branch, and the branch name I want to name we'll call it delete and edit buttons. Okay, so we switched to a new branch, delete and edit buttons, and you can see that. Now, as this shows right here, we're on a new branch. Okay. So when we develop software, we don't want to damage the code that is already working, right? So what this does is like branch off. Think of it like a parallel universe where we go into and create new code. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get, checkout master. Once the code is done, and then what we're going to do, see, we're on the origin master. And then what we're going to do is going to get merge, and then we'll type in the other branch, right? But right now, we want to check out the, oh goodness, what was that now? Delete underscore and edit buttons. Oh goodness. Now how do you check the branches? Okay, so we're on our new branch. Get status. Clear. Okay, nothing's ready to go there. So what we're going to do is on this branch, let's see if we can illustrate our branches. I don't know. In any event, let's move forward. We're going to need a string for an SQL query. This is a Java file, so it needs all the ceremony. Will this do this? There it goes. But what I'm going to do, copy. We have some code already that we're going to just go ahead and reuse. Connect database if it's not there. If it's not already connected. Because for the testing it won't be connected. Right? Copy, Control C to copy. We'll come down here, give some space, and then add that prepared statement, one prepared statement. The account, what are we doing here? This is the delete one. So we will take a parameter string and call it account. Okie dokie. We don't need any of this because we're not doing a it's going to be a statement update, execute update, and it's going to return an integer. So we need an int rows updated. What I want to do, so I need a boolean up here. Is success equal false. Down here at this point I need is success equal to true, and down here we're going to return is success. So if it works, it will what I'm going to do is put that in a if statement, right? So if, and it's going to say row, whoops, yep, if rows update is greater than 0, we'll go ahead and set it to true, otherwise it's going to remain false, and then we'll give it back. So we can see the calling method, whether it works or not, right? Now we need some SQL. So down here on our SQL terminal, if it'll work, let's see. Alright, so we're going to use finances. Okay, database changed, very good. Show tables, you'll see there's just one. So I want to do, what do I want to do? I want to delete. So we got to do drop, no. Let's think. Okay, so what I did was, see, the thing about developing software is that you don't have to know everything. All you have to do is know how to find the answer. And as far as I'm concerned, if you can find the answer, I believe that makes a good software developer. Because I forgot the SQL query for delete, but you know, you look it up, and then what I do here is I have a folder called Toolbox, and where you keep a lot of code that you reuse. It's kind of like a math equation, right? I mean, programming is very similar to mathematics anyway, and it resembles the function of math. In any event, what I did is I write it down in my file so I can save it, Control S to save, and then that way it's there forever as a reference where we need to look it up, right? So we're going to say in here, we're going to go delete from ledger where now in this one, let's see. Before I do my delete statement, I have to see the transaction I want to delete so I can see if it's in the from account. You'll see. Let's see here. Let's go to select all from ledger. You'll notice that MySQL language syntax, SQL syntax does not necessarily need to be capitalized. We do it as a convention, so that standard practice, so that we recognize it in our code that it's an SQL query. Okay, it'll work lowercase or uppercase just the same. So what I wanted to do was delete this Flying J one. Okay, like I said, I'm a truck driver, so I spend a lot of money at Flying J. And that is, let's see, that charges the amount, the notes from bank account. Okay, so we're gonna have to have a couple queries. I mean conditions. Delete from ledger where we want to do where come on now, uncapitalize, to account equals Flying J, and amount equals 325. I don't think that has to be in parentheses because it is a double amount. It's not a string. So delete from ledger where to account equals Flying J and amount equals. Wouldn't it be easier just to find the ID for it and delete the line with the ID number equal to what you need? But we don't know the ID in our program. When we enter something in, all we're getting back is, I can show you, date. You know, I didn't put the ID column here because that's for the database use, not necessarily to display to any user. You know, that's so the amount. I'll put the to account and the notes. That would be sufficient, I believe. So this needs to be changed then. The to account was not the Flying J, that was the notes. This was groceries food / food, and amount equal to so and so, and notes, oh for heaven's sakes, equal to Flying space J. Now, okay, so if I go to, now up arrow is your last command, up arrow again to select all from ledger. It should be missing. It said okay, so it worked, right? There it is. We only have 99 now. 99 rows on the MySQL table. Take it down, now we have 98. Okay, so that works. Okay, so I'm gonna go back up to that. So again, because this is what I wanna copy, I'm gonna show you. We just go ahead and copy this. It's a working query, right? So we go into here and we hit paste, just like that. Now what I wanna do is, we need a couple more pieces of information in here. So it's not just string account, it's going to be a string array called params. And I'm going to go ahead and put a comment in here so we know that under the params, first param is equal to account, second param is going to be equal to amount. We can go ahead and put this on the next line. Yeah, just like that. And third param is going to be, what was it? Notes. There we go. So what we do in here in the working query, go ahead and delete all this. We're going to put a question mark. This is going to be a prepared statement, as it is. The only problem that I see happening is that I have to remember that this second one is a double, and we're going to have to make it into a string value before we pass it in. Okie dokie. So we're now let's go up. I like having a space between that and that. I like readability here, you know what I mean? So, there we go. Aha! Now, for our prepared statement, this is going to be params 1, we said, right? And the string, the array starts off, the index of 0 is 1, so that's the first. you gotta love computer scientists. Set. Now this is the thing that we're gonna do. I believe. Does it have to be? I can't remember if I have to set it as, excuse me, a double or not. If it'll work just the same. I have another. Let's see. Excuse me. Now here, we put in all 5 as set string, and that was, let's see the notes here, I believe, insert into ledger the date to, yeah, the amount that we set into was set string, and it works, that works. So, now, you don't have to, keep these methods tidy like I do. Some people don't like it, some people like it, I like it. Especially when you get a lot of code, it can be hectic. So shortcut is Control-Shift- to and Control-Shift+, of course, to open them all up. Control-Shift- to close them. What I'm going to do is come down here and open the one I'm working on. I don't necessarily want to see all the code all over the page, just the one I'm working on. So what I need to do is set string for the second parameter, params, and this one is number 1. But that'll be a string. Okay. Statement, set string. There it is. The third parameter on the arrays params 2. Aha! There it is. Excuse me. So that should work. That should set the 1, 2, 3 params in the question marks up here, and it should work just fine. I'm not sure. We'll go ahead and test that. We do have a database util test, so we can go down here and hit void. We're going to do test delete. Okay, and what we do now, what I do is I just cut this out of the previous method and paste it, Control V in here. The reason I do that is because delete transaction. I don't necessarily want to delete another one. I can put another missed one in here, and then I can delete it, right? So from bank to groceries, you can see that one hasn't updated yet because I didn't. You'll see it. Watch this. What I'll do is I'll do it again, and it'll delete that one on this update, and then put this new one in here, right? Right? I mean, I understand that. Okay, so what happened was, let's go to this, and then let's go back so you can see that it looks like nothing changed because it deleted it from my query down here, and now it just entered in a new one, right? So if I do go, I got my query, the one I want, select off, you'll see that new right there, right? So what we want to do is we want to test it, and we'll go ahead and test it, and we'll delete it. Got some red in here because there is nothing in this method. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Control Z to back up. Whoops, Control Z, get in there. Hey, what the heck? Why is that doing that? Perhaps I need to open this. There you go. Oh, because it's returning a Boolean, right? So what I want to do here is just say return false. Okay, we get all our errors taken care of. And let's go over. Now let's see here. Let's go through this real quick. So this is very simple. It says delete transaction is our method name, right? Delete from ledger where to account equals something and amount equals something and notes equals something. We're going to pass that in our parameters, our string array called parameters. We're going to have a Boolean is success. We're going to set it equal to false. We're going to go test the connection. If it's null, we're going to connect the database. Okay, that's used for testing because it doesn't. Our program doesn't load up and then automatically connect to the database. So we test the connection. That way we can get through testing. And now we're going to do a prepared statement, statement connection, prepared statement, SQL, and then we're going to go ahead and set those parameters, 1, 2, and 3, 0, 1, 2, or the indexes, and of course the parameter starts at 1, 2, and 3. Int, it's going to return an integer, rows updated, statement, execute update. If rows update is greater than 0, we're going to set is success equal to true, meaning that one row was removed. You could even set this equal to 0, if you, 1, if you wanted to, right? Double quotation marks for test, to test equality, right? Rows equals 1. It should be 1, right? If I delete just one row, is success, and then catch the SQL exception. Return is success at that point. Now, we go over here to the tester class, and what we're going to do is an assert. There it is. That. Now this, it needs to be a Boolean, because it returns a Boolean. I lost my music here. Is success equal to data delete transaction? Okay, is assert is success exactly equal to, it'll give us true or not, because it'll assert it to true. Right? Is that true? Ha! Is it true? We can do this, or we can do assert. Well, let's try it and see if that works. Okay, so hit this, right click, go to run test delete. Give it just a moment to build. Alrighty, instantiating tests. We're going to type in our password. Index out of bounds. Wouldn't you know it? And that happened on database util 336. Oh, I didn't use any parameters here. What we wanted to do, arguments, I'm sorry. Well, we needed the, this is a Groovy file. Remember, Groovy and Java files are the same to the JVM. They don't notice any difference in the bytecode. So our first, we wanted to do the, going back over here to our notes. Oops. First param is account. Yes. It was groceries, food. Second one was amount, was 325, and the third one we spent it at Flying J. Remember this? That's what we're trying to delete right there. Okay. So if I hit Control S, Shift F10, we will rerun the test. You can see the one that's going to be running is right there, DB test. So here it is. We're going to type in our password again for the database, connect to the database, and it says this success is false. It failed when it's supposed to be true. That's what I like about this Groovy, the test case, because it shows you what is happening here. So if I go back here to this and I hit, it's still there. It didn't delete it because it was something went wrong. That's the whole point of testing stuff, right? To make sure that it works. Now I don't know if it's because, let me think. It doesn't tell us anything other than the fact that it didn't work, right? Yeah, because assert, it's supposed to be true. If this did work, delete transaction, it would come back true. So I have to find out, did I put the, I see my error. Do you see my error? It was Flying J, right? See this? Flying J was the notes, and it didn't have any notes that match just flying. So we'll do Control S, Shift F10, run it again. And this should work, I would imagine. We're going to go ahead and type in our password again. There it goes. We got the green bar. That worked. If we go over here, arrow up, select all from ledger, with that last line is missing. Beautiful. So now that we got that working, that takes care of that method in the database. We can come down, Control Shift minus. Okay, we got to do one more here. So what we'll do is open this one up. Boolean is success equal to false. Return is success. There it is. Okay, we need a string of SQL equal to, and then I'm going to go to this next method, the one we just created, and I am going to do some copying. You know it. Just like that. Control C to copy, and enter. Okay. Now what we can do is we have the code in our new method. We can tweak it to our needs. This is going to be edit transaction. So instead of delete, which we're going to do an update. So it's going to be an update table ledger Control S to save. Just to pause for a second. Okay, so just like before, we don't necessarily need to remember everything, but if you know where to go to get the information, you can quickly find out. And what I'm going to do now, so I don't have to keep looking up on the internet, I can go to here. I'm going to do an update. Hold on, you. I'm going to do an update method. Right? And we're going to put in the string SQL equals, so that I update table set. It's going to be some column name is equal to something, and then of course the where condition. Alright, Control S to save, just like that. So update table set column name equal to something where something. Okay, so that's what I want to use. We can go back over to here and put our music back on. I like background music. Good background music helps the brain learn. Okay, not any heavy metal, classical, which is tough, especially in today's world, to listen to. But I mean, it's proven. Okay, I've raised my children. The first, let's see, my son is 3 now. Every single day, going to bed, put classical music on, so that because it's good conditioning for brain development. That's the reason. This is not classical, but it's good music you can hear. So update table, update. I don't have to put table. I see update ledger, where we'll set the column name. This is to do an update. So let me put another problem in, excuse me, and then we'll fix it with an update. Alrighty. So it's 325 at Flying J. Whoops. What the heck? My fingers move too fast. Alright, let's see here. 325. I put the same error in there, and now I want to update it because this charge is real, but the amount is incorrect. It needs to be 380. Okay. So what we're gonna do, set, and in this particular example, it was set. The column was amount, and now it's the where statement. Where? Oh, set amount equal to the correct 380. Where? And this is where we put in our condition. Where to account equals groceries slash food was the column, and notes equals line J. Okie dokie. Let's go to select. It's not there. Aha, it updated it to 380. It was 325. You can see right here where we entered it, it was 325. We updated it to 380 now. So that query works. What I need to do is I need to copy that. Control C. We're going to go up into here and put our Control V to paste. Hold on, my wife. Okay, where were we? Let's see here. So what we're going to do is just, you got to respond to the wife when she, calls or texts. That's important. We're going to go ahead and put our question marks in our SQL statement. So those are there. Now, update ledger, set amount to yes. That means we're going to need some parameters. And this one's going to have 1, 2, and 3, so we can do 1, 2, and 3. So our prepared statement is identical. It's already set. Execute update if rows equals 1, because it's going to be exactly 1 at a time. Then it's going to be set to true. Return is success. So there we have another functionality made. We're going to go over here and test it again. Control X, cut, void, test, edit. Alright, we'll paste that, Control V. The reason I do that again is because for some reason I haven't figured out. If you know what I'm doing wrong in the comments below, please let me know. But for every method that I have up here, if I have my DB class in here, for some reason it'll go through all these methods and I'll have to type in my password the number of times that there are methods, and that's just silly. It's ridiculous. I don't know why I have to do that. I haven't figured out that problem yet. So my solution is just to you build it inside the method that I'm working in. Right? So Boolean, I'm going to call it is success test data dot edit. What was it? Edit. It was edit transaction. There it is. We have some params. We can go ahead and put 3 in there, right? 3. So now this is already correct. So what I can do is change it back to 325, right? So the I need to put a comment on here where the params, first param is equal to account, second up. Control Z to back up, Control Z. Second param is going to be equal to, oh no, on this one it's set to be the first parameter is going to be the amount. You can see right here, this is the first parameter in this statement, and the second one in the statement, and the third one. So in this one is the amount. So we got to set this one to amount. The second parameter then is going to be the to account. Okay, and the third, of course, then is going to be the notes, right? Control S to save, and then we'll hop back over to here so we can do what we need to do. This is the amount was, we want to update it to 325. The to account was groceries. Oops, I got to learn how to spell. Food, and the notes was flying J. Okay. And we're gonna hit enter. We're gonna do assert yes, and then is success. It's gonna measure this against true. If it's true, it'll return true. Control S to save, and I'm gonna hit run test edit. going to ask for my password because we are accessing the database. Aha! And it's false. Got another darn error, didn't I? We want to set amount. Let me see here what I did to make sure it worked. I set amount to 380. The 2 account groceries, food, and notes is the Flying J. So that all worked there. Now what's my problem? So it says assert is success, it's false. Ah. Did I set it to true? Oh, I did. Oh. Execute update. Returns 1. Now I'm not sure if this has to be like this or not, but we'll go to Shift F10 and we'll try it again, see if that was just a simple error or not. Maybe it's a little more than just that. Aha, so I have to go up here to this one as well and say the same thing, greater than 0, Control S. Okay, so that works, the test works. Now what these two methods work, Control Shift minus to tidy up. Now that I have these two methods that work to the database, we can use them in our controller. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the view. Let's see, it's the input one. I should have a folder for these, but I don't know how to access the views. I get an error each time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to the menus, yes, and we're going to add some buttons, menu items, and it's going to be under edit, of course, because what we're going to do is edit it. Now we're going to do, we can deposit, we can add account, subtract account, initial balance, to do the initial balance on the account when we just start keeping track. What I want to do here is do menu item, there it is, text, there it is. And this is going to be to edit, of course, the edit transaction. Alrighty, and this one is going to be a menu item. The text is going to be delete transaction. So for some reason, if you can't edit, you can delete it and start again. Okay. Now we also need another attribute in here called onAction. It's going to be a hashtag, and we're going to go ahead and create the method called edit trans. And you can see it's red because it doesn't exist. So I'm going to hit Alt Enter, Enter, and it creates it automatically over here. Skipping over to here. There it is. We don't need this def in front of it. It's redundant because the void is defined. Control S to save. I'm going to go ahead and switch back. That was Control Tab. What we're going to do is come down here to the next one, do the same thing on action. There it is. And we're going to do hashtag delete. Is that how you spell delete? Delete trans. Alt Enter, Enter, create method. Here we are. I'm going to stop over here. Now, what we did over here in the database utils, we created the logic that talks to the database and deletes it or adds it, respectively. What we need to do here is call that method from the database so we can do what we need to do. Now this comes defaulted and then it fills in an action event. For my purpose here in this program, I don't need to use that action event, so I delete it. I don't like my yellow. I don't like this thing being yellow and having, you know, see this thing up here? I don't know what that is. See, it adds it automatically. Control S to save. I want a green check mark. You see that? That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So I have two methods here that are going to be called when now they will be up here in the edit button, right? In the edit menu, I mean. I guess I can close this out for now. Now to edit, I don't need the date.
The world's largest marketplace for online learning.
Commercial.
On Udemy, I learned how to use Python.
Okay, so for the date object, right? That's the date picker one. I'm going to go ahead and set visible to false. I want the user interface to be unambiguous. So I set the based on what was picked, we set it to visible to false, so as not to confuse the user. For example, all I needed for this, which one am I doing here? Edit. Okay, so for the edit one, all I need is 3 parameters, right, to be passed in. If I can open this up, it has to be amount, to, and notes. Everything else can be set to visible, right? So that means the from account, yes, is going to be set to visible, is false as well. And well, let's see here. The from account, I need amount and notes. So if he uses amount, to, and notes, amount, to, and notes. Yeah. So that would be those two are set to invisible. And what I'm going to do is take the update button, and I'm going to do set text, and this is going to be set to edit. Okay, I like readability here, so if I can just do that, Control S to save. Now that this is going to say edit, I'm going to Control C to copy. I'm going to come up here to my update method, and I'm going to add another if. That's this one. And it's going to say, boy, that really closes up everything, doesn't it, when you hit that? So what I want to do is do this. Else if, nope, Control Z, back up, put that in there so I can have that there. Okay, now we need to do this. Test update.text is equal to Control V to paste. If it's going to set it to edit, then this is where we're going to go ahead and get those pieces. We're going to do string count is going to equal to count get text. No, get to account. Oh, it's I got to get value. There it is. To string. Okay, because it's a combo box. And then I have to do the amount is oh, I can't call it amount. I have to call it something else. Amount to edit, and because the field amount get text, there it is, and then a string called notes. Okay, this I have a data object. So is that going to be a boolean? It's going to return a boolean. So I have to define a boolean called isSuccess. Okay, set it equal to data object called a string to edit transaction, and I'm going to pass those variables through amount to edit, and then notes to edit. Control S to save. There we go. Now that we'll do that. Now, at the end of this, if of course is success true, we're gonna go ahead and clear all. Control S to save. Okay. So to account, amount, and notes. I need the to account, amount, and notes. And the first parameter is the amount. So coming over here, this is going to be a problem, isn't it? I need to put the account, the to account, after the notes. I mean, after the amount. Because knows it's expecting the amount to come first, the to account, and then the notes. Okay, the amount, the account, and then the notes. And that will do that. Right? Okay. Now, that takes care of that. Edit transaction. So for this one, delete transaction, I need to do, let's see here, for the delete, I just need the transaction from, the date again can be, okay, so we just need the same three. So copy, Control C, Control V to paste. Although this one's not going to be edit, it's going to be called delete. Okay, Control S to save. And I'm going to go ahead and close these up. I'm going to come back up here, and that I'm going to have to do another else if. So, enter, enter. Else if. There it is. Come down here and hit delete. Come on. And we're gonna say, you're right, update.text exactly equal to, and delete. Then we're gonna do this code, which says we're gonna need a string. Count to account, get value to string. I'm gonna need an amount. Amount to delete. I need amount field and get text. I'm gonna need another string called notes to delete. And notes get text. Okay, then we can run our method. Our method down here, we're gonna need an if. Boolean is success equal to data dot delete transaction. Now on the transaction, delete. The first param was account, amount, and notes. Account, amount, and notes. Account, amount, notes. Control S to save, and if it's going to be successful is success, we'll go ahead and clear. Clear all. Control S. Now, Control Shift subtract. Now that just tidies everything up there again, so we can see what we have. We've got a few methods here. I didn't put notes on all the methods, which obviously you can see I need to add some more notes, right? However, for now, let's go ahead and check it. Do I have anything to test it against? I want to select all from, I have, yeah, that's an incorrect amount. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and run this and then see if our method works correctly. What did I spend? The correct amount is $3.80. Oh, my bad. I gotta go to main and then do Shift F10. It was rerunning the test again. When you have multiple main methods, you gotta tell it which one to run. Okay, so at this point we can see, let's go ahead and pull up our, excuse me, that's the one that we need to edit, okay? So if I go here to edit transaction, it removes those two. The to account, we can see right there is groceries, food. The amount is going to be $3.80, and it's going to be Flying J. Boom. And you can see the only error that I have is I have to change this back to update. So I'm not sure why that's not in this method. Clear all. And I'm going to say if update to button text does not equal update, go ahead and do the update on the button, set text to update, Control S. Now when we hit that button, did that, I don't even know if that worked or not. That should change that. Select all. I still have that there, so it did not work, which is odd, which would make sense because it didn't clear these things. It's Flying J. There it goes. Now, if we can see, it doesn't. I haven't fixed the code yet so that this updates automatically, but there's the correct amount. That did work. Okay. So there's only one more step to do at this point. Since we have some working code, we can do a delete transaction, and it gives us the to account. We pick the one again, the 380, and then the notes Flying J. Enter, and again that didn't. It will now because I just did that right there. Right? You see that? If it doesn't equal update, it'll change it to update on clear all. That's in all my methods. So moving forward, that'll be fine. What I can do now at this point is, it's not there, but that's the right one, so I want that to be there. So I'm just gonna go and enter that back in. It was $3.80 was the correct one. It's Flying J. Oh, let's delete. I didn't fix it yet. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Time. It wasn't working because that's a delete, and in here the code, it was coming to the delete method, and there was no Flying J with that method with those parameters. Right, so here we go again. I'll just show you. So there it is. We want to add another expense, $3.80 for Flying J. I got to be the most underpaid truck driver in America, huh? So again, I haven't yet updated this button to automatically do what this does here, but I'm going to do that soon. Okay, so there's those buttons. They work now. Everything's fine. Coming back here to the terminal, we were on a different branch, remember? So what we need to do, we have some modifications. So what we're going to do is git add all. There it is. This is my prompt, and I made it git aware. So I mean, you can find that in GitHub, some you know, and then just add it into your bash script. So then I'm going to git commit message. Our messages is we added 2 new buttons for delete and edit transactions. That's what we did. Whoops. Flabnabbit. Okay, there it is. Committed it. And we need to git push origin and delete underscore and edit underscore buttons. Oh, it's push is to push it to remote. I don't need to do that. What I need to do is I committed it, so I need to git checkout master. Okay, and then you do git merge merge. Oh, let's see here. It was called delete _ edit _ buttons plural, and there it is. So now we have our code now has been merged together so that the new how can I show you this? Oh. I already merged it so you can't see the changes. Dadgummit. But now all my code, the changes that we did, these two functions and then in the database, they're all on our main branch of production. Okay, so now that we are on the right origin master, everything is up to date and ready to go. So that's what I wanted to show you. I just wanted you to do for my code tonight. If you liked what I have to share, please like and share it. And comments, questions, concerns, please comment in the box, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thank you all for watching and liking. I hope you all have a great day.